this podcast, we will be looking at storytellers, stories, and the reasons that oral storytelling is important in our world today. You would think with all the technology we have available that stories do not have a place anymore, but they are needed more than ever. For in storytelling is where we find truth, we find reality, and we find the heart of what it is to be human. Welcome to the Heart of Storytelling. My name is Alyssa Curtain, and let's go on an adventure. Welcome to the Heart of Storytelling podcast. This week we speak with Kavita Shah, who is in India. We have a great chat about all things Indian storytelling, and also it was really exciting to talk to an early career storyteller, having a look at what she's been up to and the paths that are opening up for her, which are very similar to mine. Meet Kavita. Welcome to this week's episode. We are speaking with Kavita Shah, who is in Northwest India. Welcome to the podcast, Kavita.
Thank you, Alyssa, for inviting me.
Oh, you're most welcome. So tell me about your journey in storytelling. What is your background and where did you start and what are you doing now?
If I talk about storytelling, I can say you that since childhood times, I was a story weaver, I used to sometimes, weave stories which are very nonsensical, and I used to get dreams a lot. Until date I dream a lot, so I get dreams, and when I used to talk and tell my parents or my relatives and friends in at home, and they used to tell me, you are always the same and just weaving the story around, crafting anything, and how is that possible? You dream like this, and what story is this? And I mean, it's very impossible. And sometimes it used to happen that such intuitions or such dreams where I used to interpret and weave something, it used to happen in my life. But then everything changed. We grew up and college and getting graduation and doing something, and then getting having marriage at the right time, which is the biggest issue for our Indian parents, getting a right time groom. And then the story started when I got twin babies. They are baby boys, and at 25 I was with two boys, and 5 years I was just out of the record, out of the world. I was out of the material world outside. I was there in enjoying my motherhood for 5 years. But then after 5 years, I started thinking, like, what am I supposed to do? Because I did not get a chance to go for my MBA, and I had my admissions at Perth University. So it was my dream to come to Australia when I was graduating, and my parents did not want me to go outside India. And so they were very caring, and I mean, I think that's a lot of pampering happening. But now my father sometimes says that, oh, I should have sent you. And now I say that, Dad, without doing MBA, I can do management well. So it doesn't make any difference. You need not feel sorry for that. And then afterwards, I was, taking tuitions. I used to give special classes for, English grammar, creative writing. And I was always fond of reading books. So books were something, when I used to get engrossed in any of the authors and writers, that I had no particular genre selected, that this kind of books I was reading. I used to read a lot. And trust me, when I was 18 years, and even if I was reading a Milton Boone romantic story, I was literally traveling. I used to feel myself there. I used to see my imagination is soaring high. I used to connect many things, and that gave me a confident personality, that even if I am to go outside India somewhere, I won't get lost. So I think books made me such confident. And then as time passed, I was tutoring in the academy, private classes. But then something very I will not say unpleasant things, but something challenging happened, and certain financial struggles made me take very hard decisions. And that hard decision was, opening up my own travel company. And my father helped me around with the same thing. And as usual, my husband was a very good supporter, is a good, very supporter, supportive. And when I started with the travel company, Alyssa, again the same thing started happening. I was sitting here in my office. I had a small office. I had everything registered, and very all the legalities, formalities done, and I was very sincerely working over it. I started doing domestic destinations all around India. And it was just 3 months, and I got a proposal from my husband's business that I had to escort 25 people to Switzerland. And I was like, how will I do that? Right? Though we have Google and we have everything. And then I had a time of 3 months. And before that, the organizer of the sponsorer came to my place, and he was one of the some colleagues of my husband's, some business partners around, but very far off. But he came to my office, he gave me advance and said, ma'am, you are going and you will be escorting my 24 people around Switzerland. And trust me, that 3 months I was learning each and every corner, or the three places which we visited. I was learning those places, YouTube reviews and videos and books. I went to the American Library in Mumbai because it's been 3 years I'm shifted in Gujarat, but originally I am from Mumbai, born and brought up. So I used to go to the library and take up books and read the places, read the cultural food, so that I can escort those people and share some vision and knowledge with them. And successfully it happened around. I came back, everybody was happy. And then the journey started, like from one destination to another, from Singapore, Dubai, Thailand, everywhere. I did not travel at each and every place, but I used to do the designing, a consultant work, preparing itineraries, talking with the hoteliers, talking with the transportation people, arranging the food and everything. And then it was again, I was again reading, again doing this. So it went for 5 6 years, and I was really, rising, and the things were improvising. And when things improvise, we always say, like in Bhagavad Gita, that change is constant. So there is always change, and that is constant. And again, it was pandemic. So that COVID again gave another hit on the wound. And then we had to change these things, and we had to think of shifting from Mumbai to Gujarat. And when I came to Gujarat, since before 3 years, I was the same way teaching. I had closed down the company. All the legalities were done, and I closed down the company. But I used to dream about each and everything. And then it happened so that when I used to teach here, I started weaving stories in my teaching. I used to teach subjects like history and geography. I also used to teach 12th class students business studies. Being from a commerce background, I used to teach them. And there also I used to weave stories. And then it struck that why am I doing so? I mean, why am I always bringing stories? And I used to ask my students, are you getting bored? They're saying, no, we are enjoying the most. And we are making pointers out of the story, and we are making notes. And I was enjoying, they were enjoying. And then it struck, okay, is there anything like storytelling happening? What is, I mean, the students made me aware that, ma'am, we like your stories. And I did some research. I started researching on what is storytelling, how did it come up, and what is the importance. And I never knew, but I was always doing it since my childhood. And then last year, in the month of February, the you must be knowing Kathalaya Institute in Bangalore, which is run by Geeta Ramanujam. So she trains educators and any people around who want to get certified being an international storyteller. And it's a residential camp. So I went there. I did the beginners course. I came back and I started getting offers from schools, from small NGOs, and I deep dived into that. I left my teaching work, and then I felt, oh, this is the purpose of my life. Okay, I am going to do this, and this is what I always wanted to do. And it started. And since 1 year and 8 months, I have a proper date and countdown happening, that every day I'm evolving. I'm learning myself. I'm not only helping others, but actually I'm helping myself first. So it's been a lovely journey, and meeting people like you around the world, around the globe. I mean, it's not possible in any of the white collar professions.
It's a beautiful journey and a wonderful story for you to get where you are. Sounds like
Yeah.
it was just like a bit of magic in all of that. So the course that you did, you said it was a residential.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you learned in the course?
So in the course, the first beginner course was what I interpret on from my understanding. It was a self-discovery course for me, right? And in that course, no, we were taught a little bit of voice modulations, little bit about what is storytelling, and they are affiliated to the Sweden, Scotland, and Tennessee storytelling institute, and so they're affiliated with that. And ma'am told us her story of how she got storytelling institute here in India, and how she got the affiliations from there. She traveled herself to those places. She went to Scotland, she went to this Tennessee, and her story inspired us a lot. That and it was not, and she was a preschool educator first, and then education, and then how she told us her stories, and that made us inspire more and more about knowing storytelling. Then we thought of, then she taught us about how storytelling we can tell others, how we can teach them. What are voice modulations, what are facial expressions, what are improvisations, and so I found that, oh, this is such a beautiful thing. Visual, oral, listening skills, the writing skills, right?
And the weaving of the
The weaving,
creativity.
yeah, because when we write, we have to weave it inside and then script it down and write it down. So all the four basic elements, the LSRW, which we say, the listening, speaking, writing, and reading skills, got enhanced. And then I found, oh, what are the different art forms? And then I started my own reading. Okay, how did it, how was it in India? And then gradually it happened so that I am right now doing my program as a cultural consultant, and I did my diploma in Vedic literature and Purana study, especially for epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata. I started doing that also, Bhagavad Gita. So in this 1 year, I was evolving and performing, evolving, performing. So both the things were happening side by side. So a beautiful journey for me, I can say. And uh, Elisa, I never thought that this journey will be so easier. rather than the other journey which roles which I played earlier.
Mm.
And then I felt when you are meant for something, the universe helps us in all ways, to channelize your energy in that direction.
Mm. That's
I don't know,
beautiful.
but that is what my realizations and experiences are. And then
Yeah.
that residential course, we were brought into attention about different art forms of India, different art forms around the world. We were taught Kamishibai, the Japanese storytelling. Recently, yesterday, this 3 days, I'm having a small storytelling camp at my home. And my, nearby vicinity and society children are coming. So yesterday, first time I introduced an Indian folktale in Crankie.
And how was
So
the response?
children loved it. Children loved it. Yeah, I had only 3 kids at my home. Only 3 kids. There are more kids coming today. When they saw the reels, so few more parents called me up and saying we are sending our children. I said, okay, welcome. And they loved the visual storytelling. They were lost when we are, talking about some descriptions. So the imagery is developing at the other end. Children
Mm.
get lost. I mean, I love stories. I think everyone loves stories, and we all are storytellers, right?
So you said that you're working with the epics. Tell me more about that.
So right now I'm working on Ramayana, and in Ramayana, it's an epic which says that Rama was live. He's not any magical or mythical character. So I do not name it under mythotales or mythological character. For me, Rama is as what uh, you know, from my perspective, he was live living here with everything.
Mm.
And there are proofs for that.
Mm.
Right. So, and all of the scientists and the archaeologists and the historians, everybody has worked and it has been proved. So, right now, from Ramayana, the original comes from Valmiki Ramayana, the sage who, in his meditative transcend, he wrote the epic. And when he wrote this epic, Rama was live. So, Valmiki Ramayana is the most authentic Ramayana, we say, and using his course, I mean using his content, what he has depicted in his story. I am working right now on Bal Rama, so the child Rama.
Mhm.
So there are different kants, I mean different sections in Ramayana. So right now I'm working on the first section, where I have made 3 episodes, and the second episode is designed in Kamishibai. The first would be oral tradition. This is my secrets I'm revealing. And the third, I'm still working. The third episode, how will I do it? I want to use different art forms
Mm.
in this one section of Ramayana, the child Ramayana, the child Rama. So from his birth to his marriage, whatever occurrences, whatever happenings, events were occurred, that what I want. And through that, how India was, how the cities were, how the kings were. Today we talk about the interstellar movie, we talk about space, astronauts, about NASA, so much happening around. But then, Alisa, I feel that those days, long, long back ago, these people had those powers to travel from one realm to another realm. And when they used to come back, time must have passed on to some another timing period. So recently I have also wrote one I have been an author in one anthology series. So My story is about Jagannath. It's a Jagannath temple, which is in Orissa, northeast part of India. So that's a children's story I have wrote, and I'm still writing some working on the epic of Mahabharata, writing some episodes of that.
No, congratulations. That sounds really exciting to write something for that as well. When you're working with the epics, is it word for word that you have to learn, or are you able to change? Are you able to change them a little bit?
No, I don't change it.
Yeah.
I don't change it.
No.
Because I want the epics to be served to the audiences as they were. The authenticity shouldn't be harmed, because see, they have lived their parts. We can tweak the stories in folk tales, because folk tales are oral narratives. So in those narratives, we can make a slight change without harming the even authenticity of those folk tales. But still, then when I talk about epics, I feel the real essence of whatever deliverables we want to do as per the morality, the ethics, values, different different natural things like friendship. If I say, for example, when we talk about Krishna and Sudama, I don't know whether you have heard of it or not.
I'm sure some
But
listeners will. Yeah.
so if we talk about Krishna, Lord Krishna, which if you know, do you know about anything about Lord Krishna?
I know a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have different epics where we believe that Rama is a character which is born as a normal human being, but his characteristics are so profound, so rich in values, ethics, that it has made him raised to the level of God. Right. And about Krishna, it's the way opposite. When he was born, he himself had created, a scene that, yes, I am God. So both the characters are very different. So audiences always get confused that, the stories are to be projected in such a way or presented in such a way that the real essence, the real part should not be left out. So when those characters are having any episodes or any stories with some other characters, what we have to bring out is the realistic things, but in a storytelling style. When the story is over, the audience start thinking, start weaving inside some or the other threads which they are trying to connect in their life, or their behavior, their nature, or their relationships. And I think storytelling is such a beautiful element, beautiful thing, that it touches all these elements.
I guess for you telling the epics, a lot of people already know these stories. They know the epics. They know the characters. So you've got this people know
It's more
what's coming
challenging.
next. Yeah, they know what's coming next. They know
For
where
that, the art of telling is as it should be, such that it has to be very interesting, and it has to. And so for epics, when I will read, I'll find something different. You may read, you may find something different. Some other may find something different. So whatever we are getting, because when we are doing into that story, we own that story, and that story, helps us around with, I feel like the stories always shower blessings, and they are very gracious enough to make us as storytellers so strong to convey it further. So the story, and it's not about stories are not always, telling is not about us, it's about the audience.
Mm.
So I think it's a very natural phenomena. And if you are passionate about it, everything starts happening.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So this podcast is called The Heart of Storytelling, and India obviously has a very rich and long storytelling history. What do you think is at the heart of storytelling, and why do we still need it today?
Say, I feel um, humans used to communicate first in gestures, signs, symbols, right? And when they started communicating with each other in any part of the world, let's talk about the planet. So when they started talking, they started communicating, it was about what happened to them, what happened to other, and that were they communicating and conveying. And and the opposite person used to delve, deep dive into the communication happening. So what I feel is, heart of storytelling means we are born out of stories. So when I was born, there's a story, and I shared it with my institute when I was learning my storytelling program. And everybody, all 25 people, still remember me as that, oh, that story. So they did not remember Kavita. They did not remember uh, where I was from, or what is my culture, or my academics. Nothing they used to remember. But they remembered me with my story.
Mm.
Remembered the story. So story is the heart. And I
Mm.
feel the heart of storytelling is the story itself. So
Oh, lovely.
it's the story. It's the story which makes you up, makes you down. When we listen to some stories, we really feel bad about someone. We really empathize with them.
Mm.
Sometimes we sympathize with them. Sometimes we feel that, oh, this story is so depressing one. Some stories make our confidence so sharp and so live. And sometimes some stories heal. So stories always bring a transforming element in you, which makes you think in a very broad perspective.
I mean, I've not been to India, so I'm not familiar with the community there, but is there a rich storytelling community of
Yeah.
people telling stories? Lots of people telling stories and
Yes, yes. I have always heard stories from my grandmother, as usual. See, uh, even if I talk to any storytellers around the globe, everybody say that they are listening to the stories from grandma, grandpa, uncle, aunt, any people from the old legacy. So oral tradition has always been a part of real communication to us as we were children.
mm,
And so today also children need that.
mm,
And you won't believe, yesterday the children who came, I told them a folk tale about another part of India, but they did not know anything about those tribal people there, right? So though they were in fourth class, fifth grader, but still they did not knew.
mm,
So if learning point, academic wise also, it is supportive, but it is also more supportive to you know uh, create that spark. It ignites that uh, some element in your brains. I think many neuroscientists have already commented so much on storytelling.
yes, yes, there's a lot of evidence around the mirror neurons
Yes,
and how, I mean, just anecdotally, I'm sure you've seen lots of kids' faces light up when you hear a story and they go into the
I
weaving. Yeah.
and Elisa, I always think about myself. Sometimes when I'm looking at some movie also, I start crying till date. Sometimes I'm carried away. Sometimes I know, oh, this is a very fake thing. So I don't get carried away because I know the real part. I know the realistic thing and I don't get carried away.
Mm.
And sometimes my emotions are triggered.
Mm.
So what I feel the heart of the storytelling is emotions.
Mm.
Rather than voice modulations, rather than facial expressions, rather than the writing part, rather than the read aloud part. I mean, there are so many things, around storytelling for kids and for adults also.
Mm.
But in both the ways, if you see, the emotions are the primary thing, the main element.
Mm.
So emotions are triggered for
Mm.
me, then only I can trigger it for someone else.
Yes, lovely. So do you have any memories of some wonderful times when you're telling a story and it just filled you up, some excitement or joy?
Yeah. So I did a Japanese storytelling, and the story, it was a Japanese folktale. And it's a Japanese folktale that there is an abandoned mountain somewhere, in Japan, that Japanese people used to, those days, put out senior citizens. They used to abandon them to that mountain.
Mm.
And when I told that story in a very small government school over here, public school, uh, when I was telling that story, and when I said that, I was making that sound that they are carrying their parents, at the back of in that basket, and they were traveling over the steep slopes. And I made a sound using a musical instrument, and I was, they're walking. I found few kids sitting on in the first second row with tears in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw the tears, I mean, I had goosebumps, and my voice was shaky, and I was just about to tear, and I cannot cry, in front of 160, 180 students. So I had to, I had to swallow down those tears and continue with the story.
Mm.
So when I saw tears in their eyes, that made me feel too much. And when I talk about elderly people, and I see those faces, and sometimes I feel that family and traditional values need too much support from storytelling.
Mm. How do you mean that family and traditional values need support? What do you mean by that?
I mean that what happens today, see, we are in a very fast technofied world, and parents are not having that time
Mm.
to tell stories to their children. They tell stories, but they tell stories till 5 years, 6 years. But I think around the globe, this is my point of view. Maybe I am wrong, but this is my point of view that they tell till 5 to 6 years. Then they think my child is growing, he's well enough, doing good in studies. I'm engaging him in so many other activities, so that stories are left out. And stories can be anything. It can be, if the mother comes back from the office, she must she must be having a good experience, a bitter experience, something which she witnessed on the road, or some anything from father, anything from children. So that communication is not happening.
Mm.
So that communication is missing around. And
Mm.
if those communications happen, and when they tell it in a style of stories, things, they get, everybody will have each other's attention, and so the love will be treasured. And sometimes even the parents or the children may talk about some other ancestral people, or their family ancestral people, about their experiences. I have certain experiences I still remember of my grandma or my grandpa. Their experiences I can share with my children.
Mm.
Every time it's not my experience. So I feel if this is happening around in way of stories, then the traditional values can secure and make that love very intact between the family members.
I really love that, the idea that love and connection can be built within
Yes.
families through storytelling. I think that's really lovely. And it's definitely something the world needs more of now more than ever.
And everything, as we say, charity begins at home.
Absolutely.
Right. Right.
Well,
So I feel storytelling also begins at home.
it really does. I have two questions.
Yeah.
One is you said that you use a musical instrument. Is that something that you do regularly? And the other was when you say weaving the story, can you talk more about that a little bit? So musical instruments and weaving.
Okay. Musical instruments, I feel that, I am a Bharatanatyam dancer, and I'm still learning one another art form of dance. So I love dancing. So um, anytime I listen to music and, my heart, my body starts moving, and you can see me moving around so much. So I always feel that music heals. And music is too much related to all kinds of triggered emotions. I'm not saying it triggers, but all the emotions which are already triggered can be at some stage healed by music itself. Nobody. So in India, like, music is been gifted from the upper realm it comes, right? And so music is very divine in India. And so anything which is, combined or has that complementary divinity, it will work very nicely. And so when musical instruments are played, even if we don't know, I did not have that mastery in that particular instrument, but when if I play some rhythm, I practice some rhythm before playing that instrument. Or sometimes there are instruments which make sounds of thunderstorms or the raindrops. There are some African instruments, very beautiful instruments, and there are some instruments from India also, and there are something like, even we can do something like, doing something like this, something. So all those kind of things always seeks attention of the crowd or the audience. And the music with rhythm is something different, and music is different. When these two elements combine, then everybody is very mindful, I feel. So music makes the audience and the teller, both of them, so mindful, because you have to be present at that moment, and you have to live that moment. So sometimes I do body percussions kind of things, and when I do all those things, and children are seeing and they are imitating us, they're trying to follow our instructions, so they are living in that present moment. I am also in that present moment, forgetting all the world around. So I feel musical storytelling, and sometimes I trust me, I never used to write. I used to write good essays and autobiographies in my childhood, but I tried any poem or anything. But since last year, I have started writing a diary. I have started maintaining a journal. So I felt that at the age of 45, God has really gifted me such a beautiful profession, that I'm evolving and discovering myself. So, and I'm always fond of music. Everybody is fond of music. Everybody
Yes.
likes music.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think music is the biggest driving force in story.
I love, just in terms of weaving, you're weaving in so much. You're weaving yourself, you're weaving music, you're weaving
Kamishibai.
Kamishibai. You're just bringing everything together, which is really, really lovely. I really, really like that idea. And it sounds like you've got a really great momentum happening. And where do you think Where's your journey going to lead you now?
I don't know where it is going to lead me, but this journey has made me so mindful, and it has given me that inner happiness. So wherever it takes, I'm ready. And it
Lovely.
has made me it has made me intelligent, I can say. Now I understand the real definition of intelligence. What is intelligence actually? It's not about scoring marks. It's not about getting something above anyone else, but it means that it is something wherein you are happy from inside, and you are mindful, and you help others also around to be mindful. See, because stories are about others, uh, about the audience, about what they like to listen, rather than what I am going to present or tell. Right? It is something which they should like, and we all storytellers always make that effort that our story is presented in that way. So the destination is going to be beautiful, because we have a lovely audience, and when they are happy, they are in that content moment, no, everything is going to be fine with us also. I mean, my table is so shaky.
That's lovely. So do you have any advice for other storytellers? And also, if people want to tell stories from India, is that okay? And what advice would you have for them?
I didn't get the question. I mean, stories from India, if someone wants to tell.
Yes. Is that okay?
Of course, not only from India, I feel every corner of the world. I
Mm.
love German folk tales. I love Native American stories. I love the Australian, especially the animal stories which you have. They are really, really very, very inspiring. And see, every place. I mean, see, storytelling is something which is not, which is not enclosed in boundaries. It's an open thing for all. Storytelling is for all.
Lovely. And you have any advice for other storytellers?
I am on my journey since last 2 years, I can say. So there are really many esteemed storytellers around the world, and I'm so grateful to all those storytellers, each and everyone whom I have seen them performing. I have seen their videos. I have seen or read some articles about them, or any of their papers which they are sometimes putting up on the net. And I'm really very grateful. I have learned them. So I don't have any one mentor in storyteller. I can say, and every day I get a new mentor. Today you are with me, so every day
Today
we are
you are my
learning.
mentor.
No, no, no. But we are learning from each other. We
Mm,
are learning from each other, and it's such a beautiful profession where you are learning, evolving every day, every
mm.
moment. So I think there is a beautiful quote about storytelling that stories humanize us. So that's the biggest takeaway for me from all the storytellers, because if they wouldn't have all this content and their performances, I would have never been evolved, or
Mm.
I'm still evolving. I can say, I cannot say evolved. I will be evolving till my last breath as a storyteller.
I don't think we ever stop learning or growing as a storyteller. I think it's something we
Yeah.
all, grow from. That's such a beautiful place to end the interview today. So, how can people find you if they want to find out more about you and your storytelling and the work that you do?
Yeah, so right now I have my Instagram profile handle. which I am very active on my Facebook and Instagram profile. I have just started working on my website, and it's the work is under progress. So I'll be shortly revealing it in 2025. And on your platform, I have a beautiful thing to announce that next month, I'm also an expressive art therapist. So, combining storytelling with expressive arts, next month, I'm uh, taking a small female trip to Dwarka. If you know about Dwarka, is a very beautiful place where Lord Krishna, uh, I mean, there's a submerged city. It's which is lost, and it's a golden city, and all over the globe, the archaeologists are working on that. But this is a beautiful retreat program I'm doing, and this is the first storytelling program I think I'm doing in India, as per my knowledge.
Congratulations. That sounds like a really great thing. It will be something that you do regularly. Will you do it again?
No. So, you know my travel, my journey as a travel consultant, and so whatever experience and knowledge I have gained till date, and using that with the storytelling thing as my passion, combining those things. I'm also a drum circle facilitator, so I'll be doing musical storytelling there. So we'll be so the program is designed as in such a way that it's a 3 night 4 days program, and we will be only 16 women females there and enjoying the most with stories.
Amazing. Oh, I wish I could come to India and come to it with you. It sounds
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
You just keep saying things and I go, oh, like you've got all these other layers to what you're doing, and it's just so exciting. I'm really happy and excited for you about where your journey is going to go. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today. You've been wonderful.
Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you so much. And you have been so kind enough and a very good listener.
If you've enjoyed the podcast and would like to support me to continue the work that I'm doing, please head to buymeacoffee.com/Alyssa Curtain and make a donation or sign up for a subscription. This is a passion project, and as such, it is voluntary. So your donations make it easier for me to continue this work. Thank you for your support.
Well, that's our episode for today. I hope you've enjoyed learning about storytelling and folktale, fairytale, myth, legend, or personal tales, wonder tales, all sorts of stories, and the art of storytelling, and why we really need to continue using it today. You can find more information about me at alysacurtain.com or at Alyssa Curtain Stories on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. I hope that you can find your heart in storytelling.